I'm right here with Mike Cruz at Razor's Red Grooming Solution, 2234 West Taylor Street, and you're watching Mr. Superior Behind the Clippers. So I'm right here with Mike Cruz over at Razor's Red Grooming Solution, right here on 2234 West Taylor Street. How you doing today, my brother?
Good, brother. How about you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for letting us come out here, man. It's a pleasure. How'd you get started cutting hair, and how long have you been cutting for?
So it first started off with my twin brother. Actually, he had bought a pair of clippers, and then ironically, I was the one that ended up cutting his hair with his clippers. And then, like, from there, I was just lining myself up, practicing on myself, practicing on a couple friends, messing them up every now and then, and just boom, here I am now. Since started like 2009, so it's been like 10, 11, 12 years, and here I am now.
What motivates you every day to do what you do, man, and come in here and throw down like you do, man?
I would say my family and just being able to do what you want to do, whenever you want to do. There's nothing like being a barber. You're your own boss, and I mean, you don't really need too much motivation when you love what you do,
What's the best part of being a barber?
My customers know this. I mean, I've traveled a lot, so you go on vacation, call off whenever you want, come in whenever you want. You make your own schedule. If you want to make X amount of money this week, you can make as much as you want to make. It's just whatever you put in is what you get.
You say you traveled. What are some places that you've been to because of cutting hair?
Cutting hair, I mean, because of cutting hair, I was able to go everywhere I've been. But I mean, for cutting hair, I cut hair in Texas before. I've cut hair, a little bit of hair in Florida. Cincinnati, I cut hair. Every time I go on vacation with any of my friends or anything like that, I end up cutting hair. So I was just in Puerto Rico a couple weeks ago, and I was cutting hair over there. I mean, everywhere. I
seen that, man. I seen you on vacation, chopping those guys up, man. What were some styles that they were asking you to give them out there, man?
When I go out of town and cut everybody's hair over there, usually it's people that are from here, so they'll get like the normal hairs over here. But when I was in Texas, I was cutting a bunch of strangers actually. So there was everything, bald heads with beards, mohawks, fades, everything,
Has barbering changed your life in any way?
Yeah, definitely. It pays for all the vacations I go on and traveling that I do. It paid for like all the cars that I've had. It bought me my first house. It definitely changed my life.
Starting off in the barbershops, man. What was that one cut that you really hated seeing walking through the door, man? What was there one cut you really didn't want to do, man?
Man, when I first started really, really heavily like working in the barbershop, it was like 2010, maybe 2009, 2010. It was the Undisputed Cuts, and then it just was fresh out. Like the new trend was the mohawks. I hated doing it, really, because I never tried doing it. But once I started doing it, I didn't realize how easy it was, But that was definitely the mohawks.
Was it you don't want to do it too basic, man, or it was just?
I was scared of just doing it like too fat, too skinny, and and it was scary, going past like that crown area, you're so used to doing fades and everything. So when you go to like untouched territories of the head, it was a little scary a little bit.
You enjoy doing those cuts now, man?
Yeah, I don't mind doing them now. They're pretty fun. They're pretty easy too.
What's your favorite cut to do?
Favorite cut to do? I mean, like 1 to 0. The cut that I think that looks nicest will probably be like a nice dark on top with a fade, or like a nice low blowout. I think that looks real nice.
What are some of the clippers that you use in the shop every day, man?
I gotta stay with the wall seniors. I've been using that for as long as I've been cutting hair. Obviously the classic, the T outliners, Andis T outliners. I just picked up some cordless Andis masters. I got pretty much, some detailers actually, and then it don't matter, whatever type of clipper I use for the metal detachable guards. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And I see you keep 2 of each, or I see you got a nice little setup over here, man.
Yeah, definitely. When it's a long day, you got to do like 10, 15, whatever, however many haircuts. Clippers get hot, so you got to have some backup.
So have you cut up any artists or any athletes at all in your career?
Yeah, a lot of athletes really so far, especially since I came here. I cut up like this past All-Star weekend. I did Rudy Gobert, dude from the Jazz. He's the one that kicked off the COVID in the NBA. Yeah. I cut up Colin Sexton. I cut up who else? Bogdanovich. He used to play for the Kings. Now he's with the Hawks. Shabazz Napier. Who else? A couple weeks ago, I just cut up LeBron's trainer, Mike Messias. A couple baseball players. A lot from the Texas Rangers actually. And then yeah, I mean, at this barbershop right here, NBA players, all types of like famous people come in all the time just because of the owner. He has a real big clientele, like, famous athletes and stuff like that.
So when you cut up Rudy, man, have you asked him about how people approached him after him starting all that with the COVID, man, and touching everything up?
I cut his hair right before COVID. So as soon as the All-Star game, I think it was like maybe like 1 or 2 games happened after the All-Star weekend, and that's when it all happened. So I know I haven't talked to him since, obviously. So I know he didn't realize that he had COVID. So I don't know how he's dealing with that.
Yeah, how did the COVID affect you guys when all this went down?
It was pretty bad, man. We got shut down whenever I forgot what phase we got put into when the barbershop was shut down. You know, so that was a little break that we had to take, which was well needed. You know, we had a real busy like holiday weekend and stuff, or holiday season. So I mean, yeah, but now we're back open and we're moving real busy.
Were you cutting during the COVID? Like, were you doing house calls, or do you just take a break, man?
I mean, I took a smaller break, but I mean, anybody that needed a haircut badly, I'd go over there to their house and do the house calls, you know.
Yeah. What were you charging around that time, man, for house calls?
House calls would be like starting at 100.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, man, moving around, and plus the risk of going in there, man.
Not only the haircut, it's the transportation and getting all your stuff, the inconvenience, you know.
Yeah, I know my girl. Every time I try to do house calls, man, my wife, she's like, you know what, play it safe. Don't go into these people's houses and all that, man. I know that played a big role with us, man, out here. What are some hobbies that you do outside of the barbershop? What keeps you busy other than cutting hair?
My family, my daughter obviously keeps me real busy, you know, and I still try to stay a little active. So I play some sports. I play baseball, softball, basketball. Since the pandemic happened, I actually picked up bags, cornhole. So I've been real busy with that. And I mean, traveling, you know, and just spending time with my family.
Do you pick up a lot of customers when you go hoop and you're playing in these sports?
Yeah, definitely. You know, because of sports, you know, I know a lot of people, and it's pretty easy for somebody to come and get a haircut with somebody that they know, you know. So that definitely did help me with all the sports.
What advice would you give to a upcoming barber in this industry that wants to be successful and to guide them to the right path?
I would say don't look to become a super busy barber like next week. You know, it's gonna take time. Like I said, I've been cutting hair for like 10 plus years. When I first started, I was in this shop. There would be days where I'll be in here from like open to close. I did not turn on my clippers not once, and I would just stay persistent, you know, and don't give up. You know, you got to keep going every day and not be lazy and be dependable and just you can't be lazy. You know, you got to do 100% on every haircut. You know.
Sure, man. Was there a point where you ever thought about giving up cutting hair, man, or you loved it the whole ride through? Man?
No, I loved it the whole ride through. I never, like I said, this is my only job, and from what I think this is what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my life. That's how much I love it.
You knew you had that passion, or you know, when you first started, man. You know, were you jacking people up, man, or were you pretty straight when you first started cutting?
I mean, maybe like the first like 3 haircuts. That's all it took. I got the hang of it pretty fast. So.
Who were some barbers that you looked up to in this industry, in this business, that helped you out when you were younger, starting off?
Oh man, when I'm young, I still look up to some barbers today, you know. But when I was younger, coming up, I was getting my haircut at Exclusive Cuts on 26 in Austin over there. So that barbershop view from like Cicero Burn area, you knew that was like the hottest shop in the neighborhood, you know. So going in there, all the barbers in there, like, man, Vidal, Sal, rest in peace Edwin, he taught me a lot. You know, all the barbers in there, you know, everybody was with good people, you know, they were making money, and, you know, like, what else do you want, you know?
Right. So you got a lot of athletes that come in here, man. You cut a lot of guys, man. What's one athlete that you haven't cut and you would like to cut up?
Not one. There's a lot of athletes that I would like to cut up that I haven't cut up yet. From like NBA, maybe like, I always wanted to cut up Carmelo. I always wanted to cut up LeBron. Baseball, I mean, anybody from the Yankees, anybody from the Cubs, anybody from the Sox. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, I cut up my boy Adrian Granado. He's a boxer, but I would like to cut up a lot more boxers as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would you say there's any athletes that might have a jagged haircut that you might want to fix up for them, or?
Man, I wouldn't say jagged haircuts. I would say could use maybe a better haircut or a haircut. You know, I would probably say like maybe Kevin Durant. Obviously, everybody knows about him. He needs his haircut. You know, or a nice haircut. James Harden. He stays with a haircut, but I feel like it could be a little better. Kyrie Irving, who else, man? Who I would like to, you know what? I think Tobias Harris from the Sixers. He got some nice hair, and I think he could use a better haircut. Who else? I mean, that's pretty much it off the top of my head.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, man, they got all that money, man, and all that clout, but the last thing they're thinking is a fresh cut, man. What are some barbers that you would like to see on the show, man, or you think that we should interview?
Man, I definitely think you should take it outside of the state, you know, like, man, West Coast, South, and East Coast, everywhere, you know. But for now, I would say, man, I got my buddy up north at Barber Boutique, my boy Joel. I know he cuts up a couple Cubs players, and my buddy my buddy also, his name is Joel. Also, he's in Riverside, Mago Styling Cave, and then I got my buddy Chato and Junebug. They're over there at Prime Barber Lounge up north. Also, they've been cutting good hair for a decent amount for a long time actually. And then I mean that's really. I know I'm forgetting a lot of people, you know, but we can start there.
Yeah, I gotta check them out, man. I definitely gotta check them out. So, what is the best way to book with you? How can people make an appointment with you?
You can check out my Instagram. I just changed my name actually on Instagram, so it's _Cruz the Barber. And then in my bio, I got the link to my app. It's called The Cut. So yeah, you go on The Cut and you search me real quick, and it'll pop right up. You can book through there, or you can just hit me up on Instagram. You know, I can send you my number right away. We can just text it out. You know. What up, guys? This is Mike Cruz. We're here at Razor Red Grooming Solutions, 2234 West Taylor, and you're watching Mr.Superior Behind the Clippers.
You're watching Mr. Superior Behind the Clippers. Shout out to our partner, Mobbed Up Inc.